Oh no! Seconds to be waited by Zealeus. If everything went correctly, we're now live. Which means I think the ads are back on, so hold on.
Oh, wait a second.
Monetization, ads. Yep, they were on. They are now off.
I'm not sent to being live.
All right. I'm oh my god. It's so stupid. Facebook.
I don't believe you.
Wait, what? Share to feed. Boop. Boop.
You. I got you. Oh, you know what? I'm actually curious about something.
Hey, how about you actually make your fucking game, douche nugget? We've been on an hiatus? Bullshit. Whatever. I'm sorry.
That's interesting.
I'm gonna be a little bit more fiery tonight.
Ah?
No, I'm gonna be a little bit more fiery tonight.
Such anger.
Sure, why not?
Why are you really so angry?
We've got like, I don't know, 25 seconds or something. I don't know.
You're a whatever. You're a whatever.
There is basketball, but hold off on it because you won't miss too much.
You're a
I don't think.
fiery
unless
whatever.
Clemson or Arizona keep it really tight. And even then, you could probably catch the end of it. This is how my day is going.
Oh, look, there's basketball tonight. I should go watch that instead.
That's the sound of a can opening. Yeah, that's it. Oh, woo. That one put hair in the chest. All right. Spotty, splotchy, random.
Going somewhere.
All right. It is now after 8 o'clock, so let us do what we do best.
On the show.
Game. No, not yet. Damn it. All right, here we go. Muting Zealeus, and we're going to go. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Just Yell to Confusion Thursday night hangout. Cheers. It's been a rough day, my friend, but I will tell you all about it after the show when it's not recorded. How about that? If only, my friend, if only.
Cheers to you, good sir. How it goes?
Tragedy when it comes to video game consoles. Let's start off with the fact that there is a handheld out there that has been met with.
Did your game systems all break simultaneously, combust, and there's a giant explosion which you recorded for all of us to see?
You know, it's one of those black and white screens, no backlight.
Well, you got my hopes
two buttons, a D-pad, and a crank. And of course, for me, for the longest time, thought that the crank was actually kind of like one of those emergency radios that you crank it to like power it up, but it's not. That's actually, the crank is for actual gameplay, which makes it even stranger, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, so the designers of this play date, I mean, they have been through
That'd be
crazy
really cool.
ass shit. Okay?
Oh.
I just want to name all the stuff that they've gone through, okay? So, they announced the play date back in 2019, and a lot of people are like, "What? Monochrome screen? That's not going to work." And of course, as soon as they went on pre-sale, they sold out in 17 minutes in 2021. And of course,
okay.
But just to tell you how cursed these guys have been thus far. All of its launch units arrived from their factory with faulty batteries.
Yeah.
Forcing repairs. Since then, they have been dropped by their shipping company, but they found a new one. They got dropped by the factory that was creating their stuff, but they got a new one. And now they're dealing with missing pallets of their system.
Oh, dear. Yeah.
So here is a quote from one of the employees. It said, "Yeah, weird. These pallets, FedEx said they were delivered, but we have no trace of them. But another thing that you might want to know that's weird is 2 weeks after the pallets were missing, 2 other pallets.
The pallets just went missing.
Were delivered by FedEx to a construction site next door instead of our shipping warehouse." Yeah. So there's a very good chance that those pallets were also delivered to the construction site next door. So they're still missing 2 pallets, but they were able to recover the other 2 pallets. So right now they're looking at, I think they've lost 40.
2 weeks later.
No, sorry, not 40. $400,000 worth of Playdate consoles are still missing.
Good gosh.
Gotta hope so too. But they made a big joke about it at GDC, which was this past week. Yes, but the thing is, they have persevered. They have kept with it, and now they have.
I hope they had insurance.
They're starting to actually gain a bit of traction, at least with the developers.
But still, in your small company trying to get your product out, that hurts and sucks.
I wish I could say that I had in this past week, but I have not, and there's a reason that I cannot go on record for legal reasons. No, I did not. It has nothing to do with video games. I promise you, it's nothing to do with video games. But for legal purposes, I cannot.
So, have you been playing your
disclose.
Playdate?
Yes. Anyways, but I'm. This is kind of like what I wanted Ouya to do. They have.
Did you break
has been hit with bad luck after bad luck after bad luck. Yet they kept going. You know what? Fuck it. We're gonna keep doing it. Our shipping company dropped us.
I don't know no legal terms.
The company that was actually manufacturing dropped us. We got a new one. We're gonna do this, and that's kind of refreshing after the Ouya. Look at us, we're amazing. Look at all of our Kickstarter stuff. Our Kickstarter was successful. Yay! Silence. Yep. Oh, it could have succeeded big time.
Well, remember, because like when the Ouya came out, I remember it was a huge deal when it came out.
Yep.
And like it was a very popular concept that I still think
it's lightweight.
If
it's
done
easy
right,
to travel with.
Could have been popular.
And it had a hell of a library to start off with.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I really do think that there was a demonstrable marketplace on it based on how much people wanted it. I mean, you gave me that one, and I played it a fair amount. Yeah. It did. But then to your point, the problem was exactly like you said, is once you had it, those first few games,
no,
like that was it.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of stopped having any kind of support, which was unfortunate. Yeah. So I wish that we, because I think outside of the big three, I think there is, and Apple kind of tries to do it with the
No.
Apple TV. But people don't really care about it with their arcade. But I do think there is that, sub $200
Because I mean, here's the thing.
market for like that small little portable.
I know.
No,
I
don't mean portable in the
there
sense
are a
of
shit
the
ton of
Switch.
people out there who have
Well,
to
it could be
travel for their
portable
job,
in the sense
and
of the
they end
Switch.
up at
There's something
a
wrong with
shit
that.
ton of
But I
different
think your point, like a
hotels.
smaller type
How
of sub $200
awesome would it
device
be to have
that's really
had
meant for
if
like
the
the
Ouya was
Android
successful
marketplace.
to
I do
literally
think there
just
is a potential
plug
market for that.
plug your Ouya in to your TV at your hotel and just game a little bit to break some stress.
Yep. Yep.
Right.
What is stuff now? Because most people do have one of these doodles. And then on top of that, you also do have the whole
Right.
I'm not going to get it, but you had that PlayStation thingamadoodle that makes it portable. It's still not the same. I get that. But yeah, I think, yes, I totally agree. But at the same time, I think the Switch is basically also kind of taking the spot of what the Ouya could have been. Meaning,
exactly.
if the Ouya had done it right from launch,
so
I still think it could have been successful with people not demanding their money back and people hating it.
I
think
say
now
that because
it would have been hard to replicate that.
There was
same
Sega announced that
success
they're doing layoffs
with what the Switch has
which
been
is
able to
sad,
do.
bad, terrible. But also,
Just because they now have that
they are
marketplace for a very good
sold
reason.
off Relic Entertainment, which of course is the creator behind the vast majority of the Warhammer games out there. Now, the reason why I say I don't know how I feel about this, or is news, is that the purchaser of said Relic Entertainment is an unknown entity. Exactly. Now, the rumor is that this is that this investor who has purchased it is making Relic Entertainment an indie studio. So I don't know exactly what that will truly mean.
So you don't know what you're going to get out of it.
It's what's a game workshop?
I mean, Warhammer's a funny IP because what is it? Something gang? What is it?
Yep.
Who is it that does? Yeah, Game Workshop it's almost like they let any developer who wants to basically slap their name on it and like, I'm making a grimdark game. Oh wait, we can just use the Warhammer IP and give you guys a little bit of the cut of that as like the 30% or whatever it is for marketing.
Right.
So that's what's been into. Like, there's I didn't realize how many freaking Warhammer games there are. And they're not first-party games. Mm-hmm. They're just like, oh, you want to make a Warhammer game? Okay. And I'm sure there's some kind of cut that they get from it, and they just basically whoever wants to. It's funny because so many of them fly under the radar. Like, I keep on going back to Warhammer Inquisitor. That's a fucking awesome RPG, action RPG. I love it, but like nobody talks about it. Like, it's the Diablo 4s, Last Epoch. You have Grim Dawn, and then you have Path of Exile. Like, those are the only ones anybody talks about. It is interesting how, like, why does nobody talk about this one? Because it's pretty freaking awesome.
Right.
Now, what I noticed that they do, because I've looked at some of their other games on Steam's, is microtransaction hell. It seems like what all of their games do. And so the reason that going back to Inquisitor, I got it because it was like one of those like 95% off sale. So like the entire kit was like $8. I was like, oh, for $8, I'll take a chance and see. It was worth it. But you look at, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to look at their other Warhammer games. And they're all like base game, you know, 20 and 30 bucks. And there was like 400 add-ons. And I'm like, oh, this was the exact same way with Inquisitor. Just came with all of them. So it is interesting when I start looking at their games. They all seem to do that strategy of I honestly don't know if they're skins or if they're actual like content that adds on to it or how it works.
As you know, Embracer bought Gearbox.
They're all that base game and then just tons of microtransactions.
2021.
They've definitely gone down that rabbit hole.
So they bought Gearbox. Embracer bought Gearbox for $1.3 billion. And now Gearbox has a new home. And it is going to be Take-Two. And Take-Two...
It was only like 2 years ago, I feel like. It wasn't long.
$460 million.
3 years. Yeah, so not long in the grand scheme of things.
Of Gearbox. I believe so. I think that I don't maybe it was the publisher. All I know, yeah. Well, now it's Take-Two, which to be totally honest with you, that seems
wasn't it 2K
like
Games that originally did it?
Move on Gearbox,
or maybe that was just the publisher.
You know, for Gearbox to survive.
I remember always seeing 2K Games.
Take-Two, 2K.
Well, yeah, because Gearbox is the developer, so it makes sense.
Movement
2K Games
that type of support, I think.
Interesting. That confuses me.
Oh, Jesus. Embracer bought up a bunch of shit and then basically burned everybody to the ground. Yes, and to be honest, you know, Activision has had they've had a couple layoffs here and there.
Well, let's be honest.
Throughout the years,
pretty much nothing can be worse than Embracer
basically
Group.
Took entire studios and basically just one day.
At least like
what?
As much as we should in Activision, at least they still actually create games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the true venture capitalist. Is you purchase it and you try to sell short so you can sell high. That's the goal. Ultimately,
subsidiary is
you buy a
2K.
company, you basically release all of your
welcome back
debts,
to the family. In
theory, keeping your assets so you can sell it for more money. That's the goal. Obviously, it did not work too well with Gearbox. And hopefully...
Oh, God, yes, absolutely.
Nice. So that worked out well for them. So hopefully this means that Gearbox can go back to making some more, because the Border games are still some of the most fun looter shooters around.
And for those,
they're still great games. So I'm hoping that they'll go back to making like another just kind of go back to the roots of Borderlands,
the finalization
and just
of
make
the
another classic Borderlands looter shooter.
Gearbox will occur in the first quarter of
I think
the publisher's
that is something we would all appreciate seeing, because
which apparently
they're just great games.
June 30th, 2024. So I guess that means that they'll become officially Take-Two in July of this year. I fucking hate fiscal years and how they don't line up on the actual calendar. It's so confusing. Now, if you want to talk about confusing, let's talk about the fact that there is a new challenger to enter the arena, and that is the fact that Marvel Rivals, a game filled with Marvel characters, will be taking on the likes of Overwatch.
It's so confusing.
Ex-Call of Duty and Battlefield developers revealed their 6v6 team-based shooter. I don't know, Zealeus. Maybe you should talk more about it.
Yay.
Oh my. So just real quick before
wait,
Zealeus goes
where
any
I heard
further, I
about
just want to tell you
6v6
what
games.
the roster so far has been revealed. Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Groot,
I mean,
Hulk,
that's
Iron Man,
going back
Loki,
to the good old days of the
Luna
OG
Snow,
Overwatch.
Which I have no idea who the hell that is.
6v6,
Magic,
2
no idea.
tanks, 2 DPS,
Magneto,
and 2 supports.
Mantis,
Oh
Neymar,
dear, what a novel idea.
Penny Parker, Rocket Raccoon, Scarlet Witch, Spider-Man, Storm, Star-Lord, and the Punisher. Oh, I'm sure.
All I know is I'm going to bet that this is a free-to-play game, meaning it's going to be microtransaction hell. That's what I'm foreseeing. In terms of skins, and I'd be curious to see if they lock characters, because that's a big thing with Marvel games.
All right,
is locking characters behind paywalls.
Zealeus, I want your opinion on this. Okay,
so
there's one thing.
Yes, I'm definitely anticipating
this
high
game,
amounts
Marvel
of,
Rivals,
and not just microtransactions, but like in your
like
face,
Overwatch, and that
like
is that
pop-ups
there
after
are
every single match.
up
Hey,
moves,
do you like that skin that you saw?
which
Come
means
buy it here.
multiple characters can combine their powers for
that's
awesome
what
effects.
I'm predicting.
For example, you could pair Guardians of the Galaxy members, Groot and Rocket Raccoon, to become a rootin' shootin' duo. Or Hulk can lead Tony Stark powerful gamma radiation to power up his repulsors. Okay. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
I'm of two minds about that, honestly. It is going to be, so you already had that in Overwatch. Like it was not formalized, but like for instance, it was called Nanoblade. You had Anna, which created it was like super healing and super damage. And you give it to Genji when he did his Dragon Blade. So it's called Nanoblade. If you had a really good Genji, he could do he could do a quad kill, whatever the 6 team kill is. He could do a team kill. And he could do that in the game. So you already had that. So most FPSs already have that informally. The issue with most, if not all, PvP-centric games is toxicity. And the issue you would get into with those type of transactions is if I were an Anna and there was a Genji, they'd be like, Anna Nanomy. It would be like a nonstop thing. And it would actually create potentially negative toxicity because, like, if I didn't do it to the Genji, I'd be like, oh my gosh, you're such a noob, or just, stupid bullshit. So, on one hand, it can create really cool moments in the game. Don't get me wrong. Like, if you do a really cool Nanoblade, it was fucking awesome.
Absolutely right.
But it can also create toxic moments. And that'd be my worry of doing something like this in a game like this. You now have this different expectation, especially for pugs, where if, like, you're picking the raccoon and like in lobbies, there's already flaming over who other people choose. Like it always happens.
Right.
And now if you choose the rocket and you're going to be flaming supports from not choosing the support who supports you to do that combo, it's going to actually create more opportunity for direct flaming than not having that already. Now, for group play, like if you're playing with a partner or you're playing like in a 6-stack, great. Like it makes sense in that regard, I think, because that's where you see those moments, I think, much more of like the Nanoblade I was talking about, because you can just be like, okay, we're going to team up. But I think especially for pickup groups, for people don't know when I'm saying pugs, I mean 6 randoms who just kind of join independently of each other. it has the opportunity to be really cool, but it also really has the opportunity to create a very toxic. And I'm really curious to see because, at least in Overwatch, like they're independent of each other. So like if I nanoed the Genji and they sucked, it didn't affect me as Ana, right? It was just they're two independent things. But I'm curious in the Marvel game if like they both have to work together during their equivalent of the ultimate. Now I will say is at least they're trying to do something different. So I give them credit for like, hey, this is actually a cool idea to do to try out and see. So I give them credit for that. So I'm always happy to see developers try new and different ideas to see how they goes. The other issue could also potentially see with something like this
what
is
about the ones that may not immediately have.
If you only have certain sets of these wombo combos and you're totally overpowered, now you're going to have only these certain sets of characters chosen if you want to win matches. And
yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of times, at least in the Overwatch type of games, it's those ultimates that really kind of turn the tide of battle and who kind of has better ult economy and all that stuff.
The hell some of these characters that I said
so yes, if
Luna
some of the
is new to the
I'm
Marvel
guessing some
universe.
of these ults are going to be completely overpowered.
She is an Ice Mage / K-pop.
The combo ults, then yeah, it's going to create even more of a weird
Magic
selection.
Is the
as far
Dark
as
Child of Limbo, which all right. What's the other one? Penny Parker is brings the Spider-Verse into full focus because she's an alternate universe version of Spider-Man. Was there one more that I had a question about? Let's see here. No, I think that the rest of them I've been a Marvel nerd long enough to know the rest of them, but there's a couple names that just piqued my interest in, so there's the answer. So I'm guessing that Penny Parker and Spider-Man will be a combo, would be my guess. Sadly, Aunt May was not one of the names listed. Sorry.
Somehow talk about K-pop caused my Google thingamadoodle to start playing K-pop music.
Let's talk about the fact that they have finally manned up and told us
what about
where
Aunt
the
May?
hell our
she should be in there.
PvE part of Overwatch 2 is.
And well, that's
it's in the toilet, in the trash can. There will not be any PvE in Overwatch 2. It is officially dead. As a doornail. Will not be there. DED, dead. And if you don't get that reference, watch Robin Hood Minutites.
It's coming in Overwatch 3.
Oh, it's great. There. Yeah. Yeah.
I need to see that. It's been a long time. Yeah, it's funny because I remember talking about Overwatch 2 years ago with Jeff Kaplan, and like and I think many others, honestly, were excited about the idea of Overwatch 2 being, because I remember the original premise was basically Overwatch 2 is almost like an expansion or a DLC. You want to do PvE in Overwatch 2, and then basically all the PvP stuff from Overwatch 1 would carry over if you wanted to, or you could just continue to play Overwatch 1 if all you cared about was PvP. And I, for one, was excited about it. I was like, this sounds really cool. It was almost like a reverse Defense of the Ancients thing where they like reverse the premise in a way. So I thought it was a cool idea. And then obviously that didn't happen. I mean, that was kind of part of the speculation of why Kaplan stepped down in the first place as they were going away from that idea. And obviously Overwatch 2 is all about PvP still. It was almost like they created a negative feedback loop in that they trickled out PvE stuff, but it was all terribly received. Ergo, nobody played it because it was obvious that it was not a priority. So the argument from Overwatch, Blizzard, that like there is an interest in PvE is self-serving because it was shit in the first place. So I'm sad because the popularity of games like Borderlands that we just talked about and Destiny, I think shows that there absolutely is a place for PvE type of FPS games.
Oh wait, no, that never happened.
I would love to see something like I know you have Destiny 2, a challenger to Destiny 2 in the forms of like a Final Fantasy or a
Activision of Blizzard
World of Warcraft. That's a true like MMO
dance
FPS
for 18 months
style.
And it's finally come to its conclusion. It's sad.
Long Live Defiance. Still my favorite one. So I'm sad. I mean, I'm not surprised at all by this announcement. I mean, it's like, I still think it ultimately comes down to, okay, I'm going to preface this by saying it's always all about the money. I get that. But developers still can make choices where it's not about the absolute 100% bottom line. And still do stuff that gamers will appreciate that's not going to be the maximum 100% profit. In this case, that's just, I think that's Microsoft merger, 100% all this decision about. It has nothing to do with what gamers actually want.
Very, very far apart.
The only thing about it is they looked at it and say, well, we'll maximize our profit, bottom line.
Be going forward.
Absolutely nothing else matters.
So there's that. Yeah, exactly. Well, how about we just stop the suspense and we'll just kill it, and we'll just keep doing what we're doing, and you know, Overwatch 2.5. Let's be snazzy. We won't put Overwatch 3 out there. It would be like Overwatch the next generation.
And Microsoft's just like
crazy
well,
shit like
we'll
that.
split the difference.
Then we'll put the PvE back in. Yes. All right, so speaking of shooters, let us talk about, this is a question and also a statement. The statement was given by the one of the leads over
I mean, I would rather they just say it and
Arrowhead
be
Studios,
done with it instead of speculation.
Helldiver 2.
So,
when
I mean,
asked
it is what it is.
about,
I'll just continue not playing
perhaps
Overwatch 2.
Introducing a friendly fire option of being able to toggle that off, and their immediate reaction is, if we did that, why don't we just turn off the shooting effects completely? You will never have friendly fire turned off. If you accidentally shoot your colleague, then you shoot your colleague. That's how bullets work. So Zealeus, how do you feel about games that allow games that allow the ability to toggle friendly fire? Yeah.
So I actually got Helldivers 2. I gave in and bought it, and I played a few matches. In the 4 matches, so I haven't played a whole lot, but and only one of them has there been kind of a griefing asshole. So on one hand, I'm like, man, that'd be nice if friendly fire wasn't a thing. But on the other hand, it's also having friendly fire fits in perfectly with the ethos and the theme of the game. It does. Like, you play it on one hand, there's obviously the oh my gosh, what's the movie everyone compares it to? I'm having a brain fart. Starship Troopers. Everyone compares to Starship Troopers, and the absolute is that, you know, theme. And on one hand, it's serious, but on the other hand, it doesn't take itself too seriously. But in terms of the combat, I mean, the combat it's not easy at all. It's pretty visceral. And as the CEO pointed out, the enemies also have friendly fire on each other. So you can actually line them up to hit themselves. So on one hand, I'm like, It'd be kind of nice, like in the bowling alley, you can have the bumpers off so you don't get gutters. It would be nice to be able to turn it off. But on the other hand, everyone's on the same playing field. There's no weird rules. It's here's your match. And we also live. It's not like, oh, we live. It's always kind of been a thing where it's like the customer's always right? In this case, the developer's saying basically like, nope, we're the developer. We're going to make the game we choose to. And I say, cool.
Right.
But again, kind of like the Blizzard decision of Overwatch 2 not having PvE, I'd rather the developer, the CEO just comes out and says, this is how it's going to be forever. And that way it's not like this weird, like, well, are they ever going to turn it off? Maybe I'll wait for them to, turn off friendly fire and play then. It's like, nope, this is the game you got. If you don't like it, then go find something else. So I'm cool with it. I have no problems with them not turning off friendly fire. It makes perfect sense with how the gameplay works. The other thing that came in mind too, if you play it, I think it'd be one thing if like you had one life in the game, right? If you had like a single life, somebody could just end your 20-minute campaign instantly. That would suck. But you have a bunch of lives as a team.
And to be honest with you,
so that's
Zealeus,
I think
I'm basically in the same boat.
Assuage that with
too
how many lives
like
you have.
To put up those bumpers,
so if it's
for bowling from time to time,
just true griefing, obviously that's
the higher score
not
feel
fun.
more superior.
But if it's like an accidental, actually friendly fire, then it's not the end of the world.
There are games out there
because
that it makes sense
you have all these
to turn
lives
friendly
to
fire
cycle
off,
through.
but it truly is the developer's decision. As much as I would love to be fucking Rambo, just let loose and just, empty every single fucking clip and not have to worry about bullets hitting my teammates. This game, from my understanding, I've never played the game, but from my understanding, this game and many other games, there is kind of this skill that you gain of, learning when and when not to shoot your gun. Yeah. Yep.
Well, yeah,
Yes.
because
My
ammo
question for you,
preservation is a big
Zealeus,
deal,
is,
actually.
have you done the
Like,
bro hug
You just
yet?
can't spray and pray the entire game because you will run out of
Dang it,
ammo.
Zealeus.
You can get like drop shits to get
But
you
yeah,
more
no,
ammo, but in large
totally
part, like
understand
you have to be cognizant of what you're doing with your weapons.
We're not going to give you the ability to do friendly fire on and
which
off. It's
makes
ridiculous.
a difference. Yes.
It depends on the game, and in my honest, weird ass honest opinion, I feel
I'm sorry for letting
that,
you down.
If there's gonna be a friendly fire option, then it fits better with like a paintball gun type game, where you don't want, because I don't know, in my brain I'm like, if it's bullets, damn it.
Yep.
And if you get hit by a bullet, it's gonna hurt. But if you get hit by like a paintball from your teammate, that shouldn't negatively affect you. That's just, my crazy 2 cents. Yeah. Uh-huh. Sad day. And Zealeus has been blackballed after one game.
I will say, I was a little bit surprised at first.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to pause real quick.
I didn't know there was in my first match. Actually, I was trying to hit a console and ended up shooting my teammate instead.
And so these are
I was
the friends of the show.
Sorry, bro.
To start it off, let us go with the Indie Cluster.
The
Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the AV master himself. That is Doodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Tran, Noodle Boy Media, previously Whack Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia. The next one is special for those individuals in the greater Atlanta area. Those are the individuals who may game just a little bit too long and you've got some aches and pains that you need fixed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about Hero Chiropractic. It's a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. The next shout out we got to give is to the music maestro himself, the one who helped us out when we were in a weird ass situation. That, of course, is Crosspad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content, just like Alter Confusion. Crosspad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Good Lord. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he could do for you. The final shout out we got to give is to the original supporter of Alter Confusion when it comes to Patreon. That, of course, is Agile Axiom. By day, Axe leads both the development team and system administration team working with satellites at NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings and many times during, he is the Agile evangelist, Agile Axe, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information and to check out his book, go to agileaxiom.com. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know you're just dying to know how to become a patron or friend of the show. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right now, it's really easy. Alter Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you, and so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, aliens, mummies, werewolves, swamp creatures, vampires, and supporters, and more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. Currently, we have 2 tiers. We have the $1 a month, that's $1 a month, or $12 a year tier. And what that will get you is early access to all of our playthroughs, which, by the way, there is a new playthrough that just went up. It just hasn't been published yet, which is this. This is the bed we made. Which is a really weird game. And also at the $1 tier, you gain the ability to participate in Patreon-only posts. If you're feeling extra frisky, you go to the $5 a month. That's $5 a month or $60 a year. Not only get you everything at the $1 tier, but you also gain your name or organization added to the Friends of the Show of every single Thursday night hangout. So if you want to become a Patreon or patron of Alter Confusion, go to Patreon. That's patreon.com/alteredconfusion. And Zealeus has just posted this bed we made review in the chat for those who are interested. If you are watching this recorded or you're listening to this via audio, the podcast, you just go to alteredconfusion.com and look for this bed we made review, and it will give you all the information about that game, which is, before I go any further, I just want to say, I don't know, spoiler alert, but this game had a lot of awesomeness, and then, I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but I'm all about pacing when it comes to games. I want I understand there's going to be lulls in games. I mean, that's just, people are going to digest different sections of the game at a different rate. But overall, you want to have kind of the same pace throughout the entire game. This game has I'm not going to say it's more of a fast walk to it through about 95% of the game. And then all of a sudden it's like dead off sprint. And you're like, what the fuck? And then it's like roll credits. And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
That, and also, I don't know, maybe it's just my graphics card, but I did have an issue with all of the characters in the game looking like they were freshly dead. They were all very pale skin. Their eyeballs are like there's like no pigmentation to their eyeballs. It was creepy as fuck. No, it's not, because if you watch like all of the trailers, it's a very good looking like hazel-eyed girl. I did not have a hazel-eyed girl. I had like a grayish-eyed girl, and which is why if you look at the review, I don't know if I actually caught her eyes in the picture I took.
It's just the art style.
Stock footage from the developer and add that as like the in-game picture. But this time, because I actually brought it up in the review, I took a picture. I actually took a screenshot of when I was playing and then posted that in the review instead. It was just weird as hell. And of course, if you are a patron of Ultra Confusion, you can watch the creepy, freshly dead lady and all of her companions that she runs into through the early playthrough, which will be, I think, with probably by the end of the week.
Interesting.
Dude, it was so weird. Like, I don't know. I seriously think that my graphics card was just okay. Developers, understand this. If you are going to be developing on a platform such as the PC, you have to understand that there are a variety of
that is quite the sales pitch. I want to go watch creepy dead
so
almost people, but not dead.
Only have a single type. Even if you have multiple of the single type of configuration, you cannot have that single type, because people are going to have different variations to their hardware, to their drivers, and so they might end up with a different experience than you because you didn't try to cover enough bases. That's what I have to say. Yes, is that right? The only as Zealeus said, in theory. Now, of course, there are slight differences if you had like a day of launch console versus one of the consoles that
that is one of the advantages of a console. In theory, is developers can push more ones and zeros out of a console because they can do it to that specification.
Work a little bit better than the day of launch console. Yeah.
I did find it interesting. So last week we were talking a little bit about like potentially the PS5 Pro, and I was kind of like, there's not even a whole lot of like PS5 exclusive games that are pushing the boundaries. And I did see it posted online this week where there was chatter from the developers saying just that, where it's like, we're already not pushing the limits of the PS5 as it is. So why are we doing like another generation of the PS5 when what we have is basically already good enough?
Yep.
Yeah. And I know we always say this, but like, does there come a point where like, how many more graphical?
There was.
I guess now because you are pushing the 4K. I guess that is the big difference. Is people are really trying to push the ray tracing, the 4K.
There was a game,
the 240 hertz of video gameplay.
Like, oh man, it's gonna be hard for me not to get this. And then it actually released, and then it broke Steam records. However, the fan reaction of the game on Steam has been mostly negative, and that, of course, is Dragon Dogma 2. Now, Zealeus, I don't know. I've not really been paying much attention to the backlash that's been happening. Do you have anything that you could say about why everyone feels so betrayed after the release of this game?
Hmm. I honestly, outside the microtransactions,
Right.
I have not. And I always kind of wondered, without this is without reading what people are upset about, but like Dragon's Dogma 1 was not an easy RPG. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like a Souls like type of hard, but it didn't hold your hand. Um, like there was not
Right.
easily accessible fast travel. You couldn't just go like Diablo style and run into the mobs, or you wouldn't die. It was like an in between of an ARPG where you could just like go Leroy Jenkins and a Souls like. That's kind of think about it. Like you kind of think about it a little bit. It wasn't terribly hard, but you've had to contemplate what you're doing in the game, and you had to trek a lot. I did wonder when Dragon's Dogma 2 came out if people were going to be turned off by that because, like, I think nowadays people consider those things, especially things like the fast travel and that kind of stuff, like the quality of life improvements. And to not have some of that accessible. And the other thing, a big difference is from what I'd read online of the reviews, like the quests are more like your old school JRPGs where you actually got to talk to NPCs. And it wasn't like a go over here and kill 8 boars and then come back and I'll give you less money than if you just sold that at the vendor for what they're worth. No, it was oh no, I was attacked by a boar. Can you please avenge me? But you don't know where the boar is. Like, you had to either like go remember where you saw one while you were hiking over here and go like ask other, NPCs or just went around till you find one. So it's like it doesn't hold your hand like a lot of the other RPGs do of our days. Even like I haven't played Baldur's Gate 3 yet, but thinking even like of Mass Effect, right? Stupid probably a lot of people saw Dragon's Dogma 2, thought of something honestly like a not Dragons, art Mass Effect or Dragon Age, right? Where it's like they kind of held your hand, honestly, as far as quest went, right? And as far as travel and that kind of stuff went. The first one didn't do it at all either. Like, I think we were like this thinking, like Dragon's Dogma hit. I don't remember the first one being a huge hit. Like, I really don't. I feel like it was more of almost like a cult class. Like people who liked it really liked it.
So I pulled up,
but I don't remember the first Dragon's Dogma having like everyone dropping everything they're doing to go play it.
Want to make sure.
And I feel like Dragon's Dogma 2 is a game that people perceive as a drop everything you're doing and go play it game.
Performance issues.
But I still think
along with the
caters
microtransactions. The vast majority of the negative reviews are centered around the microtransactions. However, there's been some serious performance issues where the user can potentially crash the game if you edit the controller layout. You can crash the game by trying to commit certain edits to your character design on the character creation. And apparently another when you're in the woods, the wilderness,
nice.
The game will barely push 40 frames per second. And then also apparently the anti-tampering software has been causing frame rate issues, which also surrounds potential stuttering in game. So yeah, they're getting hit from all angles.
Unacceptable. It has to be at least 60.
I agree.
Nice.
To be honest with you,
I honestly like. So I started because I started to finish Hogwarts Legacy.
No,
I cannot tell the difference between the 60 FPS and the 40 FPS gameplay.
If it drops from 60 to
like,
40,
it looks
is
the
if you
same
had
to me,
the,
so
the
it's like,
freaking,
like now if it stutters down to like
visual
10
app that's
FPS,
showing
like
you
that
what
I
the
totally
frame
get
rate
because
is.
then you're actually seeing the frames.
That's
But
the
like,
only way that you'd be able to tell.
I don't know. There comes a point where it's like, bruh.
Yeah. Oh my God! No, Jesus, no! Oh God. Yes, but still. Actually, when I think about frame drops, I think about all of those.
And I bet
those
people
funny
do
YouTube
that
videos
and
of
see and then they see it dropping, regardless of their eyes can interpret
pings.
it. You know, like it dropped frames,
there's
bro.
a guy who does a series of videos where it's like this guy jumps into the pool.
I died
let's
because
see
of the frame
we
drop.
were to
That's
ramp
what
up
happened.
the ping, and then it's just awesome. I just love it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
True, very true. And they didn't even release the microtransactions until after all the review copies were out.
Now, I do think being annoyed at the microtransactions is valid. Well, in a way, because we did not know about the microtransactions until the game was released.
Yeah.
However, guess what? The microtransactions literally, it's a single player game only. They literally don't affect you. I get it. They're sleazy, but it's a single player game.
Yeah.
If you don't like the microtransactions, there's a very simple solution to it. Just don't engage in them. Like,
$4.99.
I get not liking them, but I also disagree with getting a negative review because of microtransactions that literally don't affect your gameplay.
Right.
At all. Now, if there was no fast travel at all, and you can only get fast travel through microtransactions, that I can understand being peeved at. But the way way that the fast travel is in the game, meaning it's limited, that's a core mechanic in the Dragon's Dogma universe. That is part of the ethos.
Now, let's talk about a game that everyone.
If you don't like the lack of fast travel,
have
that's a valid complaint if you don't
upon.
like it. But not liking it because of the microtransactions is just being a dumb piss, in my opinion.
The game not being anywhere close to it. What I'm talking.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm like, whatever. You don't like the microtransactions? Just
do it, Zealeus.
Don't do it. It's a very simple solution.
It's close. You're right. You're on the right. It's Star. No. That's right, my friend. Starfield. So it turns out that one of the leads of Starfield has come out. When a lot of people have been like, okay, so what's
I came out thinking Star Citizen because I know it's a space game, but it's not Star Citizen.
And the lead has basically come out and said that
Citizen,
it was a panic button idea.
Starfield.
That basically they did it so they could tie everything together. Since the team was overbooked on making everything else about the game. So it was just kind of, fuck it, we're going to do this twist. All right, woo! Let's hope it works. Which makes total sense now.
Oh.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so let me ask you a question then. Okay, so you see this with a lot of AAA titles, it feels like. Like that came out, you had Cyberpunk 2077, like these big games that come out, and like,
you know,
it feels that lack of polish at the end.
To be
right?
honest with you, I think.
But then you have a
Last
game.
Epoch,
I'm comparing it because I'm still playing it. As Last
gets a little
Epoch,
bit
where it has
more,
the lack of polish for the 1.0 release.
understanding, simply because
But at the same
it was
time,
in
the
that
developer was like,
beta phase
it's
for so long
1.0.
that people
Well, we know
understood
there's
that
more work to be
shit
done.
was
It's not finished
constantly
yet.
being retuned and
Like
whatnot.
the storyline's
When
literally
it comes
not
to like
complete.
Starfield or Cyberpunk, you kind of expected, because of all the smoke and mirrors of this is going to be awesome, everybody, woo, everybody's awesome. When it finally came out, everybody expected the finished product, and when it wasn't, and there wasn't this, this. The thing is with Last Epoch is I felt like the developers and the gamers were kind of on this journey together, right? Like shit was evolving as it was going. With the other two, it's literally here you go, and everyone's like, what? Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
So I will be curious to see if. So I know it took a while, but eventually 2077 came around to like a finished product. I wonder if Starfield's going to get the same treatment, or so 2077. It had like
Okay, here's Charlie's
we're going to do
honest
severe in
opinion.
cases, but it had like those rough edges that had to be fixed.
When it came to Cyberpunk
Is
2077,
the core
was
of Starfield though so
true
off base, where like
intense
is it even
soul
can they even
in that
polish it
game
into a
that just
gemstone?
needed to
Or
be
is it
polished,
just
and
like they
there
don't
were
just
some
like redo the
crazy-ass
entire game to
weird
make it
bugs
into that
that could
glorified
fuck you up
status?
throughout the game. But in my opinion, I'm always looking for a game that has the potential. And Cyberpunk 2077 had the potential. I wish that it had it like right out the gate, it always had the potential, but I wish that it had that polish, that shine right out of the gate. And of course it did not. Case in point, from my personal experience, there were several times where my character fell about the equivalent of 3 or 4 feet down, and it was instant death. My entire health went, oops. And then, of course, there was the fun bug of if you were to complete missions where you received any type of apparel or equipment, it would equip that. It would unequip everything of yours and just equip that item. But with Starfield, I am going to be brutally honest. Let me just because I want to make sure that people understand, okay? So that it doesn't seem like I'm trying to sell these guys short, okay?
Nice.
So in Starfield, I played 120 hours, okay? And yeah, in Cyberpunk 2077, I played 170 hours. All right? So I truly played the game. Saying that, Starfield has no soul. So I don't, there's nothing to polish.
So you have a pretty good understanding of the game.
They need an entire reboot, where you make it more the interactions more. I don't like it. Yes.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So it's like,
to be honest with you, and this is going to date me, but I feel like they wanted Mass Effect, okay? But what they got was, and I know I'm going to get some hate for this, but they got if EVE Online
it would almost be like an
was
overhaul
a
the entire
game
to fix it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's literally going through the motions.
Sure.
And for the price tag and for the build up, that's not what I want. When they say that it is, randomly generated worlds.
Yeah.
I want
no, I know what you
variety,
mean. Like,
you know, and
for
it to be literally, yes, there we have randomly placed this mining depot and this science outpost and this whatever on this planet and that planet for it to be the exact same design with the exact enemy layout. If you watched me play Starfield, I know that I'm harping on this, but this is how the having played 120 hours. Okay, I can literally go into any mining depot. Not now, but when I was playing it, because I probably have not. I've played so many other games, but when I was playing it, I could literally on camera go, okay, I'm going to cross this corner. There's going to be a guy to my right who's going to be faced away. I'm going to shoot him in the head. There's a guy leaning over the balcony. I'm going to shoot him in the head. They're going to sneak up behind him to the balcony. Going to look over. There's going to be 4 guys to the left and 2 guys to the right. And I'm going to shoot the 2 guys to the right because they will alert the guys on the left because it's the same fucking thing every single place. And when you do that for 120 hours, you're going to want to smash your head through a wall. Oh, by the way, the dialogue, their fucking script that you have to deal with is the same. Yes. Oh, no. I don't want that type of repetition. I don't want to be able to quote everybody every single time I go into the fucking science depot and the goddamn raiders have already taken it over. You know, if you were one of us, I would have killed you already.
I thought they'd just make you an expert at the game. They're just trying to give you everybody,
but I can't.
Repetition.
But I want to. You want to talk about rage. That game will cause rage because you're just like, this is so stupid. If I could just nuke the planet, that's what I would do. Ah! Anyways. All right. So there was a question asked of me, and I want to ask Zealeus. I know we're getting a little bit close to the end, but I want to ask. There is this phenomenon that's happening across the world, and that, of course, is called anime. And it's becoming more and more mainstream. Now, that being said, anime's been around forever, so it's not a new thing, okay? And there are a lot of video games that are based off of anime and vice versa. So my question for you, Zealeus, and this was a question that was asked of me because I picked up Persona 5, is am I going to watch the Persona 5 anime before I play the game, or do I want to play the game before I watch the anime? Now, the thing is, I want to add an extra little layer here. There are a lot of animes out there that are based on video game properties that create their own story. Yep. This anime is the storyline in the video game. So the question is, do you ruin the surprises in the anime by playing the game first, or do you ruin the twists in the game by watching the anime first?
Okay.
Okay. Yep. Yeah.
I think you would ruin, I don't remember what order you asked, but I think if it's the same story or close enough, I think playing the game ruins the anime. And I say that because part of playing a video game is being the first person instigator in it. Like, you're the one actually engaging in the stuff that's going on. So if I watch an anime and then I'm playing a video game, even though I might know the stuff that's going to happen, I feel like if anything, it actually gives me more like visceral involvement in the story because I maybe know what's happening, but like I'm actually creating that. Versus part of, to me at least, watching an anime or any TV show for that matter is like being like a bystander, right? Like you're a passenger along the game. But if you just played the game, to me, it's actually like reading a book and then watching a movie, kind of. Where my worst experience of watching, actually, I remember it was like Harry Potter movie 4, and I hated it because I literally just read the book like a week before the movie. And all I could think about was how much shit they're leaving out of the movie.
Okay, I say that
versus just enjoying it for what it was. I kind of feel the same as the reverse. When you play a video game, it's including all the stuff that you go watch the anime or movie or whatever it is.
Library, but I think
like,
it's actually
you already know what's going to happen. You're just going to think of stuff that was left out, or like, I did this in the video game.
Like,
so I have to go one way or the other. I'd rather watch the anime first and then play the video game.
Let's also say this, but there's like a detective anime out there where you are put into this random school with a bunch of students, and no, it's not Hogwarts. And you basically, at the end of the day, someone is going to commit murder, and you have to decide who commits the murder. And then that person, if everyone guesses correct, that person dies, and everyone else gets to live to see another day.
Hogwarts?
Yeah, basically. But the thing is, I did not know this. When I started watching the anime, I'm like, holy shit, this is intense. And then I found out after the fact, after watching half the anime, that there's actually a video game. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'll check out the video game. I was able to successfully navigate half the video game because I had already watched half the anime, because it's exactly the same. So it's basically a walkthrough. Yes, I have not watched it yet.
Oh.
Right. I did the girl. Did I do the girl?
Oh.
I think I did. I think I did do the girl.
So I'm actually curious because I saw on Crunchyroll there's a
fun game.
Scarlet Nexus anime. I'm like, so I may watch that and see, like, does it rekindle memories? Now, granted, I only did one of the Scarlet Nexus playthroughs. I did the guy.
Yes. Oh, by the way, I did. I don't know if I said
I think you did the girl. I think we played
last week, but I did.
That was a game I may actually play. I enjoyed playing it.
Erudian Chronicles.
I could go back and play, and it should be different enough.
4 or 5 hours out of it. Now I'm like,
I think we talked about this before. Where like, even though you get like the other half of the squad partway through the game,
question about that,
for the most part, we stayed with who we originally had because
like a demo or a beta where it gives you the first 4 or 5 hours of a game. Do you want to, when the official game releases, do you want your save to basically be able to pick you up where it is? There it is. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I put 6 hours into it. Actually, no, I didn't put 6 hours because my son actually picked it up and played it. So I would say I probably put about 4.5. But still.
Yes. Like, if anything, that infuriate me. Like, if I played, let's just highball 5 hours, and I had to buy the full game and replay it 5 hours, I'd be like, well, fuck it, give me a refund. Like, honestly.
Yep.
Yeah, that would. So, the game I'm actually interested in is Rise of the Ronin. Apparently, everyone's loving it. And the reason it's intriguing is it's they have a demo. I'm scared to play the demo because I don't know if I want to pay $70 for a new game. But there's a demo. So it's not like another game where you buy it, you don't know what you're getting. Like, at least you play a demo. It's like, okay, I actually want to buy it or not. Because it's the Souls-like type of game, which we've talked about. They're not my kind of games, so I suck at them. But apparently with Rise of the Ronin, you can set difficulty.
A fan of the ability
so people bid like, I suck at these games, but I can play it on easy. And it's like playing in medium in any other game, but I can actually still play it.
Mid-game, just in case shit gets
that
a little
be
too
greatly
hard,
intrigued
it
to be like,
to the regular.
I can set the difficulty.
I mean, Souls
level
kind of
this
did
kind
that
of combat game.
After you basically got the shit kicked out of you enough. Then it kind of simplified things until you started picking it up, and then it ripped it back up. Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
my personal opinion, in most RPGs, typically your first couple of hours are actually the hardest in the game because you don't have like special uber abilities, or you haven't done the thing where like you do every single side quest, so you're like 25% stronger than all of your enemies.
Right.
And so to answer your question, yes, that's one of the reasons I love the BioWare games is they all allowed you to do that. So typically in a BioWare game, like I would do every single quest. So like halfway through the game, I'd be so OP'd that like I could change the difficulty to like hard or extreme to at least make it like interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And so yes, absolutely. I think it's different. I think it depends on the game. So most BioWare games, if you went to a zone, like the level of the enemies were set. Like they were always level 10 in the zone.
Which of course,
but the modern, it seems like strategy is they all level sync to you now anyways.
A bunch of nerds who
so it kind of creates the overpowerness and need to change difficulty level in theory.
Video of
and sometimes
the difficulty
if a person,
on a boss.
Usually a boss is really pissing me off. I'm like, screwed. I'm just changing this to easy, being the boss and moving on with my life.
Because you like you got this guy's like, oh, I'm gonna kill you, and then it keeps killing the guy, and the guy sets it to easy, and then the boss ends up like basically having like the black lung is just he's wearing he lost his glasses so he could barely see you. He's hobbling around.
I love that show. It's fun.
Great. Anyways, it is great. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've reached the end of our show. I do want to put it out there, ladies and gentlemen, we will not have a show this coming Thursday. It is spring break. So I will be elsewhere.
It is a good show.
Sure. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure getting ready to come our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back in two Thursdays from now. So everyone, have fun.
You will be breaking the break. Remember, kids, keep on gaming.
Huzzah!
In the free world.
Seriously, that game, this bed we made is good. It really is. Like it is good. Hopefully if you play it, the graphics card will let you play it so that the characters don't look like ghouls. But the ending I maybe first of all, it wraps up way too fucking fast. And second of all, I got probably the worst ending where it's like everything went bad because of my I guess my lack of conviction or me not doing stuff or me doing stuff. I don't know. But basically the gist of the story is you're a maid, a nosy maid who likes to go through people's things who stay on the 5th floor of this hotel. And it turns out there's a weird-ass conspiracy that's going on, and you get further, deeper into the story, and shit really goes crazy, sideways.
It's something, though.
Like, I don't know. Like, I made sure all the rooms are clean, okay? But I didn't get any accomplishments for that, okay? Damn it. All the toilets and sinks and bathtubs were fucking spotless. Ah! Anyways, yeah. All right, I'm going to end the stream. I got to talk to Zealeus offline. But everyone,